Welcome back. So this came out right as I was posting the previous video, and I don't know how I feel about this. So I'm wearing Bruins because they get the best player in the trade, but there's a lot to go with this, isn't there? I'll put it this way: I told my wife that Taylor Hall was traded to the Bruins, and she laughed. So that gives you an example of the general feeling, which is this: Taylor Hall is a very talented player when motivated, right? So Oilers, Devils, Coyotes, Sabres. Now he's with the Bruins. This is his fifth team. And remember when he signed with the Sabres, there was talk about, hey, he's really serious. He wants to win and wants to show what he can do. And in 37 games this year, he has 2 goals and 17 assists for 19 points. Now, I'm also happy to see Curtis Lazar in this trade because I like Lazar. I do. 33 games, 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points. I think that's a solid bottom 6 forward that they've needed with Corrali out. So I like that part of it. And I just, the team needs defense. Anders Bjork's going the other way to Buffalo. 30 games, 2 goals, 3 assists. Never quite lived up to the hype. Good player, decent speed. Maybe in the right environment, he will turn it around. We'll see. Fingers crossed on that one. And a second round draft pick. And I've been waiting to see if they'll announce which year it's for. I would guess the 2022 second round pick because that should be a good one. Remember, this year's draft is seen as being weaker than next year's. Next year's considered to be a big one like the last one was. So either way, Buffalo did okay. And I know there's people saying, well, wait. Toronto traded a first rounder for Foligno. The stock has really fallen on Taylor Hall. Before the Islanders picked up Palmieri and they picked up Zajac, the Islanders were in on Hall. And it was between Hall and Palmieri. And then when the New Jersey Devils threw in Zajac, Lamoriello decided he'd rather have Zajac and Palmieri than Hall. What Taylor Hall has to fight is 2 things. The perception that he's an underachiever, which through New Jersey, Arizona, and Buffalo over the last few years, that's come around. That's something that's happened, and also the perception that he's not really a guy who helps your team out. The teams he's played for have not had the success that you would want to see them have while he's there. And so, again, I'm wearing Bruins because they get the best player in the trade. Am I concerned? Mildly. And yes, the Bruins need a depth scoring. Yes, it will help in that regard. Absolutely. But we'll see because it can backfire. This is a team that it's felt like over the last couple of weeks through injuries and through other things that are something just seems to be a little bit off with the Bruins. Hopefully adding Hall fixes it. But that's the thing. Arizona last year thought that would fix them, and it didn't. And New Jersey felt that he would come back to where he was when he won the Hart Trophy, and he didn't. And so I do hope that it happens. But when Buffalo signed him, it was seen as this was pretty solid move by the Buffalo Sabres to maybe get themselves in the hunt for a playoff spot, and it didn't work. So we'll see. I'm fingers crossed on this one. But I didn't dance around and hoot and holler on this one. And when I saw the return to Buffalo, that made sense. Because, again, what the rumors were was that Hall's status in the league, his value in the league had really dropped. And the offers that Buffalo was getting for Taylor Hall weren't better than this. This is around where it is. So I guess Kevin Adams looked at it and said, the offer from Boston's probably as good as it's going to get, and he pulled the trigger instead of waiting until tomorrow at the deadline, which some teams would have done, some GMs would have done, and we'll see whether or not Boston made the right move. But, again, and I don't have salary retention on the board. I'm assuming there's some salary being retained by Buffalo. I haven't seen that because people, I think, are still in shock about Taylor Hall going to Boston. And, of course, this is right after they acquire Mike Riley, so Bruins have been busy. We'll see what happens, right? Yeah. And if the Bruins lose in the first round, the jokes will be there. I guarantee it. If the Bruins don't turn it around and if Hall's stats aren't, improved as a Bruin, if he still produces at the same rate he was in Buffalo, yeah, that's where that'll end up, right? But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Because again, I know people are going to look at this and go, that's a really low payment. Not based on what Hall's doing this year. And that's the thing. I don't think GMs were willing to propose a value on Hall that would be equivalent to what he did 3 years ago for New Jersey. I think they're looking at Taylor Hall where he is right now and for the money he costs and saying we don't want to spend a first and more assets on a guy who's not having a good year. Whereas with Nick Foligno for the Leafs, you know, somebody who watches all the games. Foligno is a heart and soul grit guy. He's not going to score you points, but the Leafs weren't looking for points. They've got points. Points are not a problem. They had other problems with their lineup, and they're fixing those. And for Boston, points have been a major problem. Depth scoring has been a major problem for the Boston Bruins all year. We'll see if this fixes it. Let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.